Alright guys, y'all been requesting that I cover this guy for a while, and I feel like I have to oblige now. YellowFlash. When I first covered this guy years ago, he was kind of a nobody, and he blew up massively because he got shouted out by Asmongold. Though, a shout out from Asmongold, if you're just kind of producing low-effort grift content, won't last you forever, so he's fallen off pretty hard, as you can see. He's not exactly, the big name he was a little while back. I mean, he's still doing well, don't get me wrong, but he's at a fall off. He's at a fall off pretty big time here. So, with that in mind, I thought we'd go ahead and take a look at what he's been making these days. Apparently his newest video, pop star Billie Eilish goes full Hasan Piker over Elon Musk, gets dragged and mocked for being dumb. I'm sure people online were dragging her and mocking her, but if you're going to imply that Billie Eilish got ratioed by haters, I'm going to call you a bullshitter, because I don't know much about Billie Eilish. But what I do know is that her fan base is fucking immense, and somewhat rabid, so I promise you she is not getting ratioed on this. Even if she went quote-unquote full Hasan Piker. He seems to have a really big hate boner for Hasan Piker, which, you know, me too. Me too, man. Okay, there needs to be an epilepsy warning there, because I feel like someone's gonna have a seizure one day. Maybe that's where all his views went. He eventually killed all of his fans using seizures. Because that intro is just too much. Tone it down, man.
Oh, Billie Eilish is making the rounds again. I don't know if you saw this, but on October 31st...
I forgot that this guy's one of those alcoholic grifters. For those that don't know, it's a very common running theme among these people to be constantly wasted and to record their videos wasted. The Quartering is also an alcoholic. Half of his videos he's recorded drunk as fuck, slurring his speech, and very evidently not sober. This is another one of those guys who's just very flat, monotone, and clearly drunk while recording. That's probably also why he's kind of fallen off too. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit because this guy's literally like drunk mumbling. I forgot that this was the kind of videos that we had to deal with from this guy.
There was a news story about her going viral where she called out the billionaires. She's at some event, the Wall Street Journal Innovator Awards. She got an award there, and then she called them out. Here's what she said. I love you all, but there are a few people here with a lot more money than me, she said. If you're a billionaire, why are you a billionaire? No hate. But yeah, give your money away, shorties. I'm
not gonna lie, that is like the most hollow advocacy for progressive politics ever, but I can't really hate on it that much because the general premise is that billionaires, to be a billionaire, you have so much wealth, it's like fucking absurd. A lot of people on the left even have a pretty inaccurate understanding of how big high-end amounts of money are, like how rich people are, right? And the magnitudes. A person who's 100 millionaire is literally, like, nowhere close to a billionaire who just has 1 billion. Like, they are leagues and leagues and leagues and leagues apart from each other, right? Like, the super yacht that a 100 millionaire and a 1 billionaire can afford is universes apart, you know? Like, one's a cruise ship, the other is, you know, a super yacht, make no mistake, you know, a nice Pershing, perhaps. But, you know, it's just, it's universes between each other, right? Like, you can be really, really rich and wealthy, like, unbelievably, luxuriously wealthy as a multi-hundred millionaire, and you can become a multi-hundred millionaire through somewhat ethical means. Through becoming an entrepreneur who treats their workers fairly and does some level of workplace democracy and doesn't necessarily exploit their labor than, you know, is already necessary under a capitalist system to operate a business. And then from there, does not engage in poor, like, exploitative business practices, that end up hurting their bottom line. It is still completely possible to be extremely wealthy while being a ethical business owner. There was this one really famous guy who, like, ended up paying all of his workers, like, a flat wage that was ridiculously high, like, ridiculously above minimum wage, and he ended up being very, like, it was very viral that he did this, that he was providing, like, this super high minimum wage to all of the workers at his company. And people said, well, it's going to fail. It's going to fail, obviously. Apparently, he's actually doing very well. The company's doing very well. He, as a CEO, is actually financially doing very well. And he's got very high productivity among his workers because the people working at his job like their job. They're getting paid a lot, and they don't want to lose that job. And so they're working hard, and they're showing up on time, and they're productive. Turns out treating your workers well and paying them well gets more productivity out of them than trying to work them to death does. 100 million is 1/10 of a billion. Being ethical and making that is pushing it. What company? I mean, literally 100 million is completely reasonable for a company to make over the course of decades, acting ethically, right? That's completely reasonable. But once you start getting into the billions, especially in individual wealth, once you start getting into the billions, it is really hard to have made that kind of money ethically without blatantly exploiting people.
Wow, very stunning, very brave. Now, here's what I don't like about this. So, I don't like these people that jump on this philosophical argument that, no one needs this amount of money, right? And in some ways...
Well, it's not a matter of no one needs this amount of money. It's that why are there people who have billions of dollars? Like we're not talking about ultra-wealthy people. We're talking about wealth hoarders in the billions of dollars range, right? The kind of people whose wealth is so exclusive, there's only like a couple hundred people on the planet who have that much money. Like, that top 100, top 200 list have so much money, like, they literally hold 99% of the world's wealth, pretty much, or 50%, really, but, like, they hold an absurd amount of the world's wealth, like, this very small, like, couple hundred people, right? A couple hundred people should not hold half of the country's wealth, or of the world's wealth, while a significant amount of the country starves. That is the problem that's being called out by most progressives.
I do kind of agree. What are you doing with $90 trillion or whatever, right? I'm just making up an amazing amount of money because at some point you do kind of have enough, right?
Yeah, okay, he even agrees. He even has to admit that there is a point where continuous wealth accumulation in this current climate is just a bad look. Like, it is a sign of moral soul corruption on a certain level to just entirely wealth accumulate infinitely, right? He even believes there's a line. And for most people, they draw it around the billionaire point. I think most people, even on the left, are kind of like, millionaires, I could take them or leave them, but billionaires. That's where the problem arises. Because realistically, no individual should be worth $1 billion. Like, it's just not possible without having done some fuckery.
I would say if you've got a couple $1 million, you probably have enough. I don't know.
Oh, wow, damn. His line is even, like, more... Dude, if a couple $1 million is where you say you probably have enough, I mean, $1 billion is... like, thousands of times, like 1,000 times more than a couple billion, man. Like, I was thinking like a few hundred million is still in the, like, ethical range, Like, you could still make that amount ethically, theoretically. The billions is where most people draw the line, and that is way above where you just drew yours. Why are you mad at her?
A pretty modest life, but Billie Eilish here does not. She has, I believe, at least according to, like, just a AI thing, around $50 to $53 million.
Fractional. Literally not even close to a billionaire.
Okay. She's got a lot of money in the bank. Do you need 50 to 53 million? Because I'm...
Also, this is estimated. Estimated net worth. Is it accurate? Maybe. Hard to say. That's assuming she hasn't spent a lot of it. Rich people tend to buy a lot of rich people things, so... I mean, so this is a good example of what I mean when I say that, like, the hundreds of millions range is not that hard to hit ethically. If you're a successful enough actor or music artist, you can make that much money in your career and have that much money in the bank and be a multi-hundred millionaire by the end of your career. And not necessarily have exploited anybody. Your talent can make you that much money.
I'm going to say you could probably get away with just having 10 million. But see, none of these people that like the LARP is these...
Dude, does he not realize that she literally has, like... 1/500th of the wealth that she is criticizing here, okay? Like, literally, mathematically speaking, I wouldn't know if she's actually closer to being a billionaire or a working class person. I would assume closer to being a billionaire. Man, she is still really far from being a billionaire, which is the group that she is criticizing, that most people are criticizing, once again.
Progressives ever put their money where their mouth is. Why does Hasan Piker have millions of dollars? Shouldn't he be giving that money away to help build infrastructure for poor people or something?
That is like the weakest Hasan critique. Can we all just admit Hasan is rich is like one of the weakest critiques? Like, don't get me wrong, it's funny to joke about him having like the make the rich pay shirt, for instance, right? But like, come on. That is very, very low effort. However, if you want to like really dunk on Hasan, you should go after the stuff that, like, TYT and Hasan himself have used PR firms, that have hired PR firms to have taken off the internet. Because, for those that don't know, like, there's companies called PR firms that really rich, wealthy people can hire that if their PR starts getting fucked up, they just hire a group of lawyers and tech experts to start filing complaints to take down incriminating clips of them online. It's very common among like the really high-end big people who have a lot of money on YouTube and in streaming and in politics and stuff. And Hasan has used one such PR firm to scrub these multiple clips in particular off the internet. This one is pretty hard to find, but I bookmarked it, and it's managed to survive for like a couple weeks.
I'm Hasan Piker, and this is Bro Tip. This week's Bro Tip is about bringing out the alpha male in you.
Ow!
A few things to consider when you're thinking about Lady Gaga as a top contender for Babe of the Week should be the fact that she might have a penis. The fact that Lady Gaga might have a small penis does absolutely terrify me. Here's why the 5-second rule works. Because when you start thinking for longer than 5 seconds, you're immediately not thinking with your dick and also thinking with this pesky thing up here that we like to call our brains. So once you start thinking with your brain, you're immediately going to psych yourself out. Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time. Old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
Ow!
I want to say thank you to Miley Cyrus for showing off her camel toe at the VMAs the other night. I always knew Hannah Montana was a little slut. Don't even try to hide it. Look, this is a classic example of what happens when your father doesn't pay attention to you. You turn out to be a slut who's craving for attention, and then I tend to pick you up at a bar late night and bang you out on the first date. User Dubstep Piggy says, just die and stop destroying this channel. Never.
Yeah, those are the ones that like if you're gonna go after Hasan, I mean, you should go after the shit that like actually makes people go, "Ayo, what?" You know what I mean? Like Hasan is bad because Rich is just kind of, it's tired, it's played out.
All these people are hypocrites. It's just cool and trendy to call out and say, eat the rich. And it's so funny to me to see all these people just gaining so many massive amounts of resources and spoils from capitalism to sit out there and act like they don't like it. It's really funny to me. And it's kind of sad that all of these people eat this shit up. And we'll never call out her for not giving away her money.
I mean,
so she's getting...
I'm pretty confident if we Googled it right now, we'd find out Billie Eilish has given significant amounts to charity, as has Hasan Piker.
Dragged right now. She's getting dragged since she said this shit.
Like, Hasan Piker's donated cumulatively, I feel like, in the millions of dollars to charity, has he not?
She's getting dragged again because now she's going off on Elon Musk. She's going off on Elon Musk. So she was over on her Instagram, and she's just been going crazy. Left-wing pop singer Billie Eilish calls tech mogul...
Half of you will be using his jokes in chat tomorrow? Absolutely not. The clip... You guys realize that Hannah Montana was played... It was a 14 to 15-year-old character played by a 14 to 15-year-old Miley Cyrus, right? Y'all know that, right? That he was talking about a character who is a minor played by an actress who at the time was a minor. When he made that little... as he said, little slut comment. So no, we will not be repeating those jokes.
Elon Musk, a pathetic pussy bitch coward, for allegedly not being charitable enough. Where's your charity? You have a lot of money to feed a lot of people, clothe a lot of people, buy...
You're just molding that she called the world's richest man a pussy bitch coward. Dude, why are you dick riding the world's richest person so bad? America's economy is in shambles, even MAGA is admitting it, and pissed off at Trump for not following through on making the eggs cheaper. And you're here getting mad at one of the most beloved singers in the world, criticizing billionaires, and calling the world's richest man, who MAGA doesn't even like right now, a pathetic pussy bitch, as if that's like the end of the world for you. Like, this is outrageous to you, that she dared to criticize the world's richest man and the world's most powerful man. How dare people with prominence criticize the richest and most powerful people on the planet? How dare they do that under your watch?
No! Don't you criticize the world's richest man and world's most powerful man on my watch. I'll die defending them. I'll protect you from Billie Eilish, Mr. Trump, and Mr. Elon Musk.
Like, come on, bro. How fucking cringe can you be?
Homes for a lot of people? Why is it just sitting in your bank not doing all of those things?
Okay, let's look into it. Billie Eilish charity. Billie Eilish's recent philanthropic efforts include $11.5 million from her Hit Me Hard and Soft tour to organizations focused on food equity, climate justice, and reducing carbon pollution. She has also long been an advocate for various causes, including animal rights and climate change. Through public statements, activist efforts, and incorporating eco-friendly initiatives into her tours, Eilish has gained significant attention in October 2025 for publicly urging billionaires to donate more of their wealth, as discussed at the Wall Street Journal's Innovator Awards. So she has raised over $10 million for charity already. So she has literally donated already what would be 1/5 of her 50 million fortune. I don't know. I doubt this guy has donated 1/5 of his fortune. So he's just literally lying right now about Billie Eilish not doing these things, because I guess acknowledging it would completely debunk his entire video, and there would be no reason to put out some more slop for his audience to eat up.
You don't want to give up your mansion, do you? Your car.
Mind you, he's reading from Breitbart. He's literally reading from Breitbart, white nationalist news.
Cars, whatever you have. I'm sure you've got some cool shit. Why don't you give any of that up? None of those people will ever do it. So she's sharing this on My Voice for Choice. Probably some fucking woke-ass account on Instagram. I don't go on any of these
That's literally the charity. That's literally the charity he refuses to admit exists.
platforms. I've got one social media account, X. And that's all right.
That's the charity,
one
bro.
is more than enough. I don't need another one. I hate getting around on social media. I find it a big time suck.
Everything he's saying right now is literally just him trying to dissuade criticism for the fact he does not do any research for these videos. Slop, slop, slop.
A waste when I could be doing anything else. So she's been sharing a shitload of stories. Here's another one. This is apparently all the things that he could do with his money. End world hunger, which, by the way, he offered to do. Lips of TikTok posted. This is why she's...
He offered to do it. Wow. Oh my God. Everyone pray to Elon Musk. Why would he not follow through? Did the world say, no, please don't solve world hunger, Elon? We don't want you to solve it.
Getting dragged because people are calling out her dumbass. And she looks like a moron, by the way. Every time I see her, she looks stupid. Like, she looks like she's high on meth or some shit. Like, she always just looks dumb. So, hey, Billie Eilish, Elon Musk offered the UN's World Food Program $6 billion if they can publicly lay out how they will solve world hunger. They couldn't come up with a plan, so take your tantrum somewhere else. So, I remember when this went down. Kind of like how Twitter's been down most of the morning.
Let's look into the lie. Did Elon really offer 6 billion? 6 billion to solve world hunger. In 2021, Elon Musk publicly offered to donate $6 billion to the UN's World Food Programs on the condition that they could publicly demonstrate exactly how the money would be used to solve world hunger through open source accounting. The context of the offer was a public exchange on Twitter with David Beasley, the WFP's executive director at the time. Beasley claimed in a CNN interview that a one-time donation of $6 billion, about 2% of Musk's net worth at the time, could help save 42 million people on the brink of starvation, not solve world hunger entirely. The media headline often conflated saving people from starvation with solving world hunger, leading to public pressure on Musk. Musk responded saying he would sell Tesla stock right now and do it if the WFP could provide a detailed plan on a public Twitter thread ensuring open source accounting for transparency on solving world hunger. So Elon Musk basically said if they couldn't use the $6 billion to solve world hunger, then he wouldn't donate it. And the claim was never that $6 billion would be enough to solve world hunger. It would be enough to save millions of people from starvation. And so Elon basically set up a false premise. He said, like, use this impossible amount of money to solve the crisis, and I'll donate it. And so when they could not provide a plan on how they could use that money to solve world hunger entirely, he didn't donate it because it makes them look like they didn't actually want to do what was necessary to get the money. So that is the angle they took on that. Very interesting. I missed this entire situation. Very scummy and in character.
I don't know what the hell's going on. Ever since they switched from DM to chat, there's been some issues. I'm sure it'll get fixed. Yeah, but so CNN put this out trying to attack Elon Musk, and he said if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. They never came up with that plan. They never came up with that plan because they don't have one. In fact,
and that's the angle, is the fact that the $6 billion was never stated to be enough to solve world hunger, but Elon Musk's stipulation was if they can solve world hunger with it, they'll get it. but that's impossible, so they didn't get the 6 billion. But it doesn't make Elon look bad for not donating 6 billion to stop world hunger. It makes them look bad for not doing what was necessary to meet their end of the bargain to solve world hunger, even though it never was a situation to solve world hunger, because you couldn't do that with 6 billion. Also, you can't just buy $6 billion worth of food and everybody eats, because people have to eat again.
He did give up 2% of his wealth to go to this program.
He didn't. He never donated it. You're lying. He literally never donated it.
That money would just line these assholes' pockets. None of it would barely go into anything. All these people are corrupt cheats who steal and do all...
Okay, now he acknowledges he didn't, but he didn't because they're all corrupt cheats who just steal. So, he's accusing the #1 organization in the world for solving world hunger of cheating and stealing all the money. This guy is legitimately, like, one of the biggest scumbags on YouTube. Like, Asmongold should never be forgiven for boosting this guy outside of, like, the 20,000 sub range. I'm so glad he's falling off now, and he's not pulling the big views he used to anymore. Because he really doesn't deserve them. Like, a lot of these grifters are bad people and don't deserve it, but I mean, this guy... Like, the organic YouTube ecosystem should have realistically never let this guy hit the numbers that he did. It was surely a shout-out from one of the most slop creators on Twitch that got this guy his slop-consuming audience. Not as lame as Andy Pants, though. That's fair. As far as I know, there is no evidence whatsoever that YellowFlash has done anything pedophilic. You know, like, that we can't say about Andy Pants. But as far as I know, YellowFlash is clean in that respect. At least I haven't seen anything that would suggest he's not, so... Good on YellowFlash for, as far as I know, not being a pedo. That's pretty based, at least. I'd say that's pretty based. Anyway, folks, if you ended up enjoying this video, if you found it entertaining, educational, or enjoyable in any way whatsoever, then please consider leaving a like and a comment down below. Leave a hype if you want to boost the video as well, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. Really does help a lot. Regardless, though, I appreciate you watching, and I hope to see you again soon.